What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the show. Welcome back to another episode of Seahawks Now. Today, we're talking about the news over the weekend. Nick Emenwari and Elijah Arroyo have signed their contract, plus we discuss where does the Seahawks offense rank among the NFL. All that and more right into it today, but first, if you like what you see, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. It really helps the channel out. And hit that big bell so you always get notifications every time we have a breaking news alert. All right, let's get into things, guys. The Seahawks have finally signed both of their second-round picks. Now, we just talked about this last week before they actually signed, but now they have signed. Nick Emenwari getting a fully guaranteed contract, and Elijah Arroyo, we'll talk about him in a little bit, he gets a nearly fully guaranteed contract. So, yeah, we were a little bit worried that these two could hold out, maybe even that Arroyo could return to college because he did post on his Instagram a picture of him working out at Miami, but now they are both going to be in Seattle permanently. So yes, we got the deal done. I'm kind of surprised that John Schneider actually gave in here. They signed Emenwari on Friday ahead of the start of training camp. Quote, he says, "I'm super excited for the season. I don't want to put too many expectations on myself, but I can feel there is definitely something good brewing, and just the team energy feels good going into camp." He was an All-American at South Carolina. The Seahawks were going to take him in the first round. They thought about trading up into the first round. At the end of the day, they instead picked him at 35th overall. And obviously, in that case, when there are reports saying that you thought this guy was a first-rounder, that does give him some leverage because he's out here saying, why don't I get that fully guaranteed contract? You thought I was good enough to be in the first round. You picked me at 35 overall. Why aren't you giving me that fully guaranteed contract? And at the end of the day, they did give him that fully guaranteed contract. This is what John Schneider had to say. He said they had Emenwari right next to Gray Zabel. He thought that they definitely thought that he could have been a first rounder. They didn't think he was going to fall much further than 35. That's why they traded up. He says they felt like they added 2 first-round draft picks. That's what they thought they were getting when they took him at number 35. Mike McDonald said he's been a guy that our whole staff has been really excited about the whole process. How do you watch his tape and not just see the potential of what he can become? Yeah, I agree. He has a ton of potential. He's not done developing yet. He actually, I think, has a lot of development to go, but he has this very rare combination of athleticism and size and skills. So I think the Seahawks think they can really help him get to a place where he can be one of the most dominant safeties in the league. Now, again, I'm a little bit surprised that John Schneider gives in and gives him that fully guaranteed contract, but at the end of the day, it's what had to be done, right? The number 34 pick got the fully guaranteed. The number 33 pick got the fully guaranteed. Last year's number 35 pick was wide receiver Ladd McConkey of the Chargers. He was 92% guaranteed, and now Nick Emenwari is the first player to get a fully guaranteed contract after being drafted at number 35 overall. All right, let's move on. Elijah Arroyo also ending his holdout. He's signed with the Seahawks also on Friday. He was drafted 50th overall, and he signed an $8.813 million deal. Among that, $6.872 million of that is fully guaranteed, so he gets about 75% of his contract guaranteed. And again, that's one of the most ever for the 50th overall draft pick. So yeah, again, really, really interesting to see. John Schneider is kind of giving in here. I don't want to say he's completely giving in because I don't think he wanted, but yeah, I don't think he wanted to give these guys as much guaranteed money as he did. Still, it needed to be done, right? It needed to happen. The Seahawks needed to get these guys under contract if they were going to play, if they were going to make it to training camp. And then the good thing is they're going to be there, right? They're going to be there. That is the good thing. A lot of people thought when they heard that Arroyo was signing on the same day as Emenwari, a lot of people thought that he was also getting the fully guaranteed deal, but no, he does not. So yeah, it's about 75% of his contract is guaranteed. Still a really good guarantee for Elijah Arroyo. I mean, yeah, it is a very good guarantee. He gets what he's looking for. I think that's what he was looking for, is something in that range, something in that realm where, yeah, he could get, significant money. Even if he gets hurt, even if he struggles, he's going to get significant money, and good for him. I mean, he at the end of the day, that was what they went out the second round, all of the second round picks, really, not just the Seahawks, but everyone in the NFL, these second round picks are getting paid. Good for them, but also good for the teams to get these deals done. I mean, it had to happen. All right, let's move on. We're talking about the Seahawks offense. So we've gone through every position group. Where does the full Seahawks offense stack up against the NFL? So here's where I'm at. I've ranked through each position group. I've gone through quarterbacks, line, running back, receiver, tight end. Now it's time to put it all together and see what is like the composite ranking. If you're going to take every single position player on the Seahawks offense and rank them against every other offense in the league, where does our offense stack up, and where can we expect our offense to stack up as a team? Now, if you look for reference, looking at the ESPN team stats for the NFL last year, where did the Seahawks offense stack up last year? Well, in total offense, the Seahawks were pretty mid. I mean, if you look at yards per game, they were 4, 5, 7, 10, 12. They were 14th in yards per game. In total yards, they were also 14th. In passing yards, they were pretty high up. They were actually 9th in passing yards, but in rushing yards, they were pretty far down. They were 28th in rushing yards. And if you look at points per game, probably the most important stat, actually, it definitely is the most important stat, the Seahawks ranked 16th. So they were literally the most mid team on offense last year. So can we be better, or are we going to be worse? Well, at quarterback, I had the Seahawks quarterback room ranking just around the middle of the pack. I had them about the 18th or so best quarterback room in the NFL. So not a great start if you're looking for better than mid, because I have them around mid. Again, looking at running backs, I think they're probably better than mid. I think the Seahawks running backs are probably a top 10 running back in the NFL. When you have Zach Charbonnet, who is one of the best number 2 running backs in the league, and Kenneth Walker, when he's healthy, he's one of the best running backs in the league when he's healthy. I don't know if he'll be able to stay healthy this year. He didn't really stay healthy enough last year. But if they can stay healthy, I do like the running back room. I put it around the 9th or 10th best running back room in the NFL. So that helps. That's probably our strongest position group on offense is running back, again, if they're healthy. At wide receiver, again, I thought they were pretty average at wide receiver. I think Jackson Smith-Njigba is one of the better top receivers in the league, but I'm not sure how I feel about Cooper Kupp. I think he's getting older. And I also just look at the tight end spot, and I'm thinking to myself, or excuse me, we're still talking about receivers right now, but I look at the wide receiver 3 spot, and I'm like, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, not sure what he's going to be able to produce, not sure what the rookies are going to be able to produce. Torrey Horton, we'll see about him. But again, I'm not super sold on the back end of our receiving core. Again, I think I ranked them around like the 17th or 18th best receiving core in the league. So again, just around average. And then our tight end group. Well, our tight end group, I think, is probably one of the weaker position groups on the team, especially because we just got rid of Noah Fant, which we're going to talk about more tomorrow, what that means for the team. But between A.J. Barner and Elijah Arroyo, it's just a lot of unproven. It's not very proven in there. I ranked our tight end group around the 20th best in the NFL. So again, we're really kind of averaging out pretty mid here. And then you look at the O-line, and again, I think the offensive line is not great. I think it is better than last year. I think we've improved. Last year, we were a bottom 10 O-line. I don't think we're going to be a bottom 10 O-line this year. I think adding Gray Zabel does add a lot to the offensive line. I think it really helps. I still don't think you're there yet. I don't think your offensive line is there yet. I would put them around the 20th best offensive line in the NFL. And so that gives you what? It gives you the 20th. If you have the 20th best O-line, the 20th best tight ends, about the 18th best quarterbacks, 16th best receivers, and then your running backs are in the top 10. I have them right around 9 or 10. Ultimately, it's not the greatest team. If you average it out, it comes out to about the 16th best offense in the NFL. So there you have it, guys. I think the Seahawks are going to once again be a middle-of-the-pack offense. I don't think they did enough this offseason to stand out. I don't think they made the changes necessary to really get into that top 10 or even top 12. But I also don't think they're going to get much worse. I think they've really kind of stayed. I think they downgraded a little bit at quarterback, maybe, although we'll see how Sam Darnold does. I also think their receiver downgrade a little bit. Again, going from DK to Cooper Kupp, I think that's a bit of a downgrade. And I also think that if you look at the tight end situation, I'm not sure if that's a downgrade, but we'll have to see how Arroyo does. The offensive line, I think they have upgraded that, maybe not significantly, but at least they've upgraded it from it's no longer a bottom 10 line in the league, and I do think it has more potential than it has in years past. With that all being said, guys, let me know down in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And if so, let me know why. I want to hear it. As always, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And as always, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, go Seahawks.